Greetings, my friends. Thank you for watching this video, and if you would be so kind, please subscribe if you like what you see. Help our channel to keep growing and keep fighting the war to save pop culture. Together, we can end this destructive conflict and bring order to the galaxy. Enjoy, and thanks. Greetings, my friends. I am Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, and I have a very bad feeling about the upcoming Kenobi series and the future of Disney Star Wars. A new rumor is going around about a possible ending of the series, a rumor that my Hollywood spies got from a highly placed source that happens to have already spread in other quarters. I'm going to share this rumor with you today, along with my thoughts about what it means, but these rumors may have been rendered irrelevant by new disclosures in a Vanity Fair article that filled me with grave misgivings. This new article makes explicit our worst fears about Kenobi, and all rumors aside, what they may do in Kenobi could fundamentally alter how we view the original Star Wars film. This makes me extremely upset, people, but I'll share my thoughts with you, and you'll have to judge for yourselves whether these rumors and official disclosures fill you with optimism or a sense of impending doom. And I welcome all of you to go ahead and share your thoughts about this video in the comments section below. I would also ask my subscribers to please check and make sure that you're still subscribed to my channel, as YouTube is purging subs from my channel daily without your knowledge. This is not unique to my channel, they do it on all channels, so please check to make sure they haven't done it to you.
Okay, Doomcock, let's start off with the new rumor. What did your Hollywood spies tell you?
Harvey, an earlier set of Kenobi rumors alleged that Kenobi was going to be a bait-and-switch show, just like Book of Boba Fett was. Essentially, the original rumor has it that Lucasfilm is going to lure us into a show about Obi-Wan Kenobi, once again played by Ewan McGregor, but then the focus of the series will shift away from Obi-Wan and center instead on Reva, the Inquisitor who is tracking him down following his escape from Order 66 and triumph over Anakin Skywalker in Revenge of the Sith. This reeks of Kennedy's influence, as Reva the Inquisitor is a proud woman of color, so of course, this absolutely stinks of identity politics, having another bestest ever steal the Kenobi show away from Kenobi. Well, now my Hollywood spies came to me after a meeting with a highly placed source who clarified the plotline of the series thusly, quote, "According to this source, the leak is incorrect. Kenobi turns the Inquisitor from the dark side and fakes his death. The Inquisitor returns to Vader and tells Vader she killed Kenobi. Vader senses she is lying and kills her, and that is as far as the source would go," unquote. Now, there's an interesting thing about this particular rumor. I had been told this about a day before a comment on one of my videos asked me about this very rumor, which they had heard from another online source.
So that pretty much seems to indicate that this rumor is true?
Not necessarily, Harvey. Yes, it could mean that the rumor is true, or it could mean that Disney is deliberately leaking this counter-rumor to quell unrest and bad publicity from the previous rumors, suggesting that this will be the Inquisitor Reva show with special guest appearance by Obi-Wan Kenobi. This could be an unofficial official leak for YouTubers and other social media outlets to pick up and do some damage control for Kenobi. Personally, and this is pure speculation on my part, not a rumor, my feeling is there are two endings to Kenobi. The first leak didn't get a good reaction, so now they're going to plan B, and they've decided to go with this ending instead. As if we really care about whether or not Reva dies at the end, that's not the point. The point here is, this rumor too confirms our worst fears of a bait and switch. It's marginally better for Obi-Wan to turn Reva from the dark side, that's a great idea, but what does this tell us? This tells us that structurally, the Kenobi series is really a story about the evolution of Reva, not Kenobi. This story focuses on Reva's redemption arc. She's the character who changes during the course of the series, and thus she is both antagonist and protagonist. Kenobi is there as a mechanism to facilitate her change, if this rumor is true, and let's face it, since this was fed to my Hollywood spies and then erupted elsewhere within a day before I had a chance to make my video about it, I suspect this is more along the lines of a sneaky press release than a genuine rumor. But that said, we still don't know if it's true or false. This could be true, could be a second ending they shot and are trying to gauge the effectiveness of through strategic leaks to fan outlets, all in an effort to squash pessimism and doubt from fans who suspect Kenobi to be a bait and switch.
But you're saying this definitely still seems like a bait and switch to you.
Oh, it does. This rumor, if anything, actually confirms it. But it's even worse than I thought, Harvey, because a new article in Vanity Fair makes me even more pessimistic about Kenobi and the future of Star Wars than these rumors do. So to be clear, what I just said was rumor to be taken with a grain of salt. But what I'm about to share with you is official news. Actual official Disney publicity conveyed in an article in Vanity Fair. So let's get this straight right now, folks. The stench of Kathleen Kennedy is going to be all over Kenobi. And here is the proof.
Holy shit! There she is! There she is! Well, there goes all hope for Kenobi being good.
Not all hope, Harvey. It's possible that Kenobi might still be good, that Disney is too desperate at this point to allow Kathleen Kennedy free reign over the property. But I must say, this fills me with great pessimism. Kennedy is all over this. How can it help but fail? But even worse, folks, even worse, this article confirms that Kenobi may well fundamentally change how we view the relationship between Kenobi and Anakin. It's implied in this article that Kenobi is going to retcon Star Wars canon, it's going to frame the original Star Wars movie in a different light, and basically alter Star Wars. In a huge profile on Star Wars published by Vanity Fair, the following paragraphs made me realize that not only may Kenobi be a bait and switch, but Kenobi may screw up Star Wars. Here's what the article said on the matter, quote, "When Chow became the showrunner, she championed a rematch between Vader and Kenobi as the Lucasfilm brain trust mulled whether to go that route. Meanwhile, sound stages had been booked in England and then canceled as the story underwent more internal scrutiny, sparking fears from fans that the show itself might go away too. Well, that's not really the main fear of fans, but never mind. In March 2020, shortly before lockdown began, the decision was finalized. Vader would return. Part of Chow's successful perspective on why Vader and Kenobi should face each other again, emphasis on that, may surprise even the most ardent Star Wars fans, especially those who think of the two as harboring an epic contempt for one another. Quote, "For me, across the prequels through the original trilogy, there's a love story dynamic with these two that goes through the whole thing," unquote, Chow says. Quote, "I felt like it was quite hard to not include the person who left Kenobi in such anguish in the series," unquote. What intrigued her was the idea that despite what Vader had become, Kenobi might still care deeply about him. Quote, "I don't know how you could not," she says. "I don't think he will ever not care about him. What's special about that relationship is that they loved each other," unquote.
Now, I would assume that Kenobi still cared about Anakin and regretted how their friendship ended, so that part could be good or bad, depending on how it's executed.
Kennedy is there, Harvey.
All right, it'll suck.
Consider this quote from the article, quote, "It's an ongoing conundrum at Lucasfilm. How much should they showcase legacy characters and how much should they keep them in reserve? Would introducing Vader to a story about Obi-Wan's exile detract from their fateful meeting on the Death Star in 1977's Star Wars when Vader strikes down his old friend? Or could a previously unknown encounter actually enhance that moment? We have these what-if conversations 24/7, says Michelle Rejwan, an executive producer of Obi-Wan and one of the company's lead development chiefs.
And a Kennedy flunky.
Yeah, exactly right, Harvey. Quote, "It's fun to, in your head, peruse the Star Wars toy store. Oh, we could have that character, or feature that ship. But at the end of the day, we really need to keep it pure about why," unquote.
Yeah, I'm not really interested in having them change the way I view one of my favorite movies.
But that's been Kennedy's modus operandi all along, hasn't it? to topple the patriarchy. She wants to fundamentally shift the franchise away from what came before and turn Star Wars into a gynocentric platform for change. Here's the thing, Harvey. Yet another fight between Vader and Obi-Wan, unless it's in a dream, changes the original Star Wars. It changes the original fight between Vader and Obi-Wan. No matter what, no matter how presented, it just does. It can't help but change how we see the struggle between these two. And it makes a joke of the line, "When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master." Well, that makes sense if their last meeting was on the beach at Mustafar, but by the time Anakin becomes Vader, he is no longer the learner. Look, the reason I didn't see Blade Runner 2049 is I didn't want a sequel to alter how I saw the original movie Blade Runner, which I regard as one of the greatest movies ever made. And I feel the same about Kenobi. When you have people messing around with the past, people who weren't part of the original creation, it always changes the original, rarely for the better.
Well, there is a small bit of hope in the rumor. If Reva returns to Vader and tells him she killed Kenobi, that could imply that Kenobi and Vader never meet face to face. It could mean they fight in dreams, that Reva is the one that finds Kenobi and fights him, and Vader is just there at the end to take her out for lying to him. Still a bait and switch, but at least one that leaves the original Kenobi-Vader fight alone.
I guess we'll see soon enough, Harvey. But at this point, it looks like Kenobi is going to be a bait and switch after all. And if Vader and Kenobi do meet and fight again in person, it may wind up changing how we view Star Wars. And isn't that too steep a price for fans to pay, just chasing another high, just chasing nostalgia? I will have to watch this show regardless. And while all hope is not extinguished, folks, I gotta say, at this point, I have serious concerns about Kenobi. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry. Ha 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 ha.